Hi, this is Mrs. Gisessi, and today we're going to review how to solve a quadratic equation by using the process of completing the square. So we're going to solve the following quadratic by using completing the square, and our quadratic is 2x squared plus 5x minus 9 is equal to 0. So our first step in this process is to make sure that the lead coefficient must be 1. In this particular problem, it is not, which means that we're going to need to divide every term in our quadratic by the coefficient of the squared term. So everybody gets divided by 2. So we have 2x squared over 2 plus 5 over 2 minus 9 over 2 is equal to 0, which gives us x squared plus 5x over 2 minus 9 over 2 is equal to 0. So our next step is that we have to move our negative 9/2, which is our constant, over to the other side of the equal sign to create a space. So we're going to add 9/2 to both sides of the equation, and then we're going to leave a space. So we have x squared plus 5/2 x plus our space is equal to 9/2. In our next step, we're going to fill in that blank with b over 2 quantity squared to create a perfect square trinomial. Now our b over 2 is, our b is actually 5 over 2. So we're going to need to take b over 2 and we're going to square that. So 5 over 2 times 1/2, which is the same as dividing by 2, and we're going to square it. So we have 5 over 4 squared, which is equal to 25 over 16. And we are going to fill in our space with that number. Please don't forget to add 25 over 16 to the other side as well. So we have x squared plus 5 over 2x plus 25 over 16 is equal to 9 over 2 plus 25 over 16. In our next step, we need to factor the left side of the equation and simplify the right. Now, factoring the left means that we're going to do our shortcut for factoring a perfect square trinomial. So it means we're going to unsquare x squared so we get x, keep the same sign in front of our linear term in front of the 5/2, and we're going to square root 25 over 16. And then we're going to add 9/2 plus 25 over 16. So we get 72 over 16 plus 25 over 16 because we need to get a common denominator. And once we have that, we get 97 over 16 on the right. Okay, so we have x plus 5/4 quantity squared is equal to 97 over 16. One of our last steps is that we're going to square root both sides of the equation to solve for x. By square rooting both sides, we get x plus 5/4 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 97 over 16. We can take the square root of 16, but we unfortunately are not allowed to take the square root of 97. It is not a perfect square, so we're going to end up with x plus 5/4 equals plus or minus the square root of 97, and then over 4. And then we're going to subtract. Okay, so that's our square root of both sides. And then our very last step is that we're going to solve for x by subtracting 5/4 from both sides of the equation. So we have x plus 5/4 minus 5/4 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 97 over 4 minus 5/4. And we can rewrite that using the commutative property and say x equals negative 5/4 plus or minus the square root of 97 over 4. So our answer can be written two different ways. Negative 5/4 plus or minus the square root of 97 over 4, or negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 97 all over 4. Now, it's going to be your turn. You're going to try to solve b squared minus 39b plus 45 is equal to 0 by using the steps we just went over. And in the next slide, you can check your work. I hope we've learned something, and if you have any questions, please let me know.